What's going on, guys? It is a Friday night. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegges back with you. It is 9:30. That means it is time for News 6 Weather Live at 9:30. We are coming at you live on News 6 Plus and on the News 6 YouTube page. Thanks so much for doing that once again, for tuning in tonight, taking some time out of your very busy schedule to come hang out with us tonight as we talk about the weather. We're going to start tonight, of course, with the Florida weather. The thumbnail, the title, if you're tuning in on YouTube, was about a white Christmas potential. Obviously not in Florida, but if you're planning on traveling or have friends and family elsewhere in the country that may be interested on if there's going to be snow on the ground or falling on Christmas, we're going to have you covered on the other side of the break. But first and foremost, we are going to talk about the weather and the warm up in Central Florida. First, it's going to get cool tonight a little cool tonight, but it's not going to be as cold as where we've been. So we're going to break all that down. High pressure building in. You see it there coming out of the southeast corner of the United States. It's going to help to cool the winds down just like that again. Melissa, how's it going? Kimberly's asking, will we ever in the near future have a Christmas star event like December 21st, 2020, the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn? Timing was great that year, just before Christmas and on the winter solstice. I want to say we'll get another conjunction in I believe they're on an 11-year cycle. So they were close together, and now they're going to be moving apart. This is for Jupiter and Saturn. So 11 years are going to be at their furthest point together. Well, now 6 years, I guess. That was 2020 already. So then 22 years from 2020. I think 2042, give or take, is the next great conjunction. I think they're gonna be even closer together. I'm not sure what month it will be, but I think they're gonna be even closer together than they were the last time. So crazy stuff. Probably in the upper 40s or low 50s, Melissa. All right, so we're gonna get to it. Temperatures right now in the mid 60s across most of Central Florida. You do see some of that cooler air sliding back in. So Tallahassee, we're in the 40s now. Pensacola's in the low 50s. We're in the mid 50s in Jacksonville. Overnight tonight, again, we're falling back in Central Florida into the upper 40s and low 50s. I think in Marion County, we'll head towards the lower 40s, and it'll be right around 40 degrees in Tallahassee and Jacksonville. It's going to be a little colder northwest of I-4 because we're going to be right under that dome of high pressure that is trying to build in as we speak. So a little chilly tomorrow, but already a super quick warm-up coming back down the pipeline. We're getting back into the mid-70s in Central Florida, lower 80s still in Miami, and then mid to upper 60s from Jacksonville to Tally back to Pensacola. So it's still going to be warm. Everybody above average tomorrow after the chilly start across the board tomorrow. Here's how it's going to play out. This is going to be early in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. I think most of us start off with sunshine, and then we'll try to push in a few extra clouds again as the wind kind of shifts to an easterly component, bringing some more of that Atlantic moisture back in. Another weak cold front comes through on Sunday. It doesn't really do anything to drop our temperatures at all. And you will see as we get further and deeper down the line, it is going to be warm. So I wanted to fast forward real quick before we take the countrywide look at Christmas to talk about what it's going to be in the state of Florida on Christmas. And again, it is going to be very warm. We highlighted this not last Monday, but the Monday before. Do the math on that. That's like more than 10 days out. We put our long range forecast together for Christmas, and we said mid to upper 70s likely on December 25th. That's going to be running again anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year. And that puts us in the mid 70s in Tallahassee, 77 in Orlando, Tampa near 80, Naples near 80. I think we're going to have some parts of Southwest Florida, maybe Fort Myers, jumping into the low 80s. So it's going to be a wild ride again, a very warm Christmas. Again, compare that to the Christmas just a few years ago, I think 2022. That's when we had the temperatures struggling to get out of the 30s for high temperatures. It was very, very cold. So a big, big turnaround from that big chill in 2022 to now the mid to upper 70s across the entire Florida Peninsula with, again, I think all that stuff will try to slide back in. The humidity will be lower this weekend. It's probably going to jump back up again for Christmas. It's going to be very, very warm for Christmas. As you see there. So I do think it's going to warm up again, and I think the humidity starts to tick back as well, especially leading up to Christmas. What happens on Sunday? We talked about this the other day, but I wanted to show you kind of a breakdown on the daylight situation that we have going on. We mentioned, what was it? I think it was on the 5th of December, the 5th or the 8th of December, when we had our live chat, our live show then, that our sunsets started to get a little bit later into the evening. Okay, just by a minute. So ever since December 8th, our sunsets have been getting later. But the catch was that we've also had the sunrise is getting a little bit later. So we were still watching the daylight decrease. And daylight will continue to decrease until we get to Sunday, December 21st. That is the shortest day of the year, the longest night of the year. But I tell you that there is light literally at the end of this tunnel. So we have 10 hours and 19 minutes of daylight on December 21st, on Sunday. On December 22nd, we also have 10 hours and 19 minutes of daylight, except if you take it out by the seconds, we have 2 extra seconds of daylight on December 22nd. And that is then obviously going to increase, and we will increase daylight, albeit very, very slow, very, very small baby steps. But by March 8th, when the clocks go forward an hour as daylight saving time rolls around once again, the sunset's going to be at 7:29 again. That's due in part to a couple of things, of course, astronomical deal with the tilt of the Earth, and of course, us changing the clocks and moving them forward to save the daylight. By March 20th, that's the first day of spring. The sunrise has now gone back to 7:29, and the sunset is at 7:36. The big deal here is that we have 12 hours and 7 minutes of daylight. So between Sunday and spring, we're going to gain almost 2 hours of daylight in that round. Alrighty, guys, I have to get my first break in. When we come back, we are going to talk all about snow. Obviously not in Florida, but where it is and where it may be on Thursday, December 25th, Christmas Day. I'll see you in 3 minutes. Alrighty, guys, welcome back to New 6 Weather live at 9:30. Thank you so much for being here. I know everybody's going crazy, getting ready for Christmas. Of course, sixth night of Hanukkah tonight, and everybody's busy. So thank you for taking some time out to hang out with us this evening as we are going to get ready to talk about snow. Yes, snow on Christmas, snow in Florida, all of that stuff. So, what I want to show you right now is where we have the snow cover. So, this is current snow cover across the entire country. Where you see the lightest of blue is where we have an inch of snow on the ground. So, that's what we're looking for as we look towards the model forecast coming up in just a second. But this is where we have the snowfall on the ground currently. So, but we need to keep it. That's the thing. Right now, it is plenty cold enough. The issue is it's not going to be that cold going forward. Really, once we start to get um, to the weekend and really early next week across the north, we are going to have some big changes. We've highlighted this as well. So this is going to be the white Christmas potential. Anywhere there's the light blue on the ground, that is where we have a shot to see snow on Christmas. It's not much this year. I really truly believe that if you're traveling, if you're going to see family, or if you're watching this maybe from a northern climate, if you happen to be tuning in, the only opportunity really going to be downwind of the lakes, extreme northern Minnesota or Wisconsin, or the mountains out west. And I mean, there's tons and tons of snow. Look at all that snow there. I mean, we're talking lots in the Sierra Nevadas, lots in the Rockies, lots in the mountains of Idaho, lots in the mountains of northern Utah, Nevada, Washington, into Oregon, Montana. And then there's not as much snow the further down the line you go from Minnesota. There's a good deal in northern Minnesota. And then back toward the northern half of Pennsylvania. Again, I think that the real opportunity is just going to be downwind from the lakes. Here's another rendition of this. And again, if you're in the Northeast, certainly not going to be dealing with one or having one. If you are watching on the 95 corridor or anything like that, it's been plenty warm. Let me pull up this map again. And right now we're looking kind of anywhere there's that darker gray color. So, I mean, we're talking eastern Montana, parts of Wyoming, Colorado, not getting on the white Christmas, and all of that. Only in the higher elevations is Vermont going to be white. I think lower elevations, I don't think so. Across most of the state anyway. And then coastal Maine, nope. I-95 corridor, nope. And then the higher elevations of upstate New York, Adirondacks, that's where the white Christmas is going to be. And it's because of, again, you saw where the snow is currently. We can go back to that. There it is. And let me get back to my other weather computer. There's the snow currently, but then we have this giant warm up coming that is going to just eat all that stuff away. I mean, you're talking Minneapolis at 39 degrees. That's warm for them for Christmas. Pittsburgh at 56, Chicago at 53. That's crazy. And then the real core of the warmth builds towards St. Louis, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, mid 70s. I mean, that core there in 60s in Roanoke and Lexington after we just had a big deep freeze there. It's pretty wild. And again, that is going to really surge through Christmas and then the days following Christmas as well. Now, this is not the forecast. I just showed you the forecast, but these are the historical chances of seeing a white Christmas. So where you have that kind of light blue color, that's where it's a greater than 26%. And then the further north you go into that blue color, it's a 40% shot. So that's a decent probability that when you're talking about the exchange from that light blue to the first darker blue shade, a 40 to 50% shot for a white Christmas. Yeah, we're not even going to get close to that this year. And really, I think if you're looking for almost a forecast on this map, I think anywhere that has that dark pink color. So the extreme northeast, North Dakota, northern Minnesota, UP in Michigan, Wisconsin, northwest of northwest Michigan, and then the higher elevations of that dark pink color, that's kind of where we have that. And I mean, climatologically speaking, that says there's a greater than 91% chance that Christmas will in fact be white. So that's really where you're going to be. The higher probabilities for this time of the year are going to be clinging to the northern tier of the country and then the mountains anyway. Temperature anomalies, I mean, this is crazy. What we're going to be looking at here, we showed this again almost 2 weeks ago, or more than 2 weeks ago. Is this? This is Thursday, December 25th. You saw what the temperatures are going to be forecast. So what we're doing here is we're taking the dabber and we're going through, and that doesn't show when I click on it. It doesn't show the temperature where it says 31 degrees. That is the anomaly. So we're talking air temperatures in Kansas, 31 degrees warmer than where they should be for this time of the year. So remember, the temperature forecast was in the low to mid 70s. So shave off 30 degrees, they should be in the low to mid 40s. That's average for them. And they are going to be way, way north of that. Certainly records could fall. I mean, talking about Rapid City-ish, South Dakota, 30-ish degrees above where they should be for this time of the year. Insane warmth building for a lot of the country. And then there's us, of course, relative to normal. It's not that crazy, but our normal temperatures, you see 2 degrees. Our normal temperatures are in the low to mid 70s across Central Florida. So that puts us in the mid to upper 70s. So it's warm. It's not a crazy anomaly. The biggest anomalies are going to be in the nation's midsection through the upper Midwest and eventually into the Northeast. Alrighty, guys, I have to get my second break in. When we return, if you have any questions, I'll do my best to get to them in just about 3 minutes. Thanks again for being here this evening. Alrighty, whoa, I don't know why that is so zoomed in. I don't know what just happened with this camera. Sorry you're so close to my face. I don't know what the heck just happened. Sorry you're seeing my hand. That was weird. Camera just like zoomed in for no reason at all. Um, Kimberly, Merry Christmas. I did not get my wood yet, Melissa. I hope everybody has a great Christmas as we are winding down here, ending some time. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this evening and for 2025. Of course, we'll be back before 2025 ends. But I wish everybody that is tuning in a very Merry Christmas. I hope everybody, if you're traveling, be on the safe side. And again, we will catch you soon, very, very soon. Thank you guys again for all the support. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah, as there are a few nights left, of course, with the holiday. I appreciate you guys. Sorry again. Thank you guys. I don't know what the heck happened with that camera. We'll catch you soon. Merry Christmas, everybody.